the raising funds for the project. Now that's a
how many hours do we have?
It's unbelievably difficult. But as a documentary filmmaker, you find a way to work with what you have. You know, I just finished this film. When we planned it out, our budget was $100,000. We only raised 20, and we did the whole thing for 14. Like, you just do it, you know?
Yeah, and it goes back to story. There's a documentary about the Russian artists, Pussy Riot, who were incarcerated for expressing their arts against the government. And most of the documentary was shot in an iPhone, or some of the technical elements were not on point. But at the end of the day, it's all about story. Sometimes you see videos on Instagram or on social media, and they're shot with phones or not the highest gear.
Yeah.
But it's all about the story. If it's a compelling, something that catches your attention, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and films are funded just a wide variety of ways. I mean, really. And there are ways of self-funding, and we're finding funding through grants and whatnot. There are pitch forums. If you've got an amazing story so there are a lot of places that you can go that have their pitch forums. You know, you can go in front of a panel of industry delegates that are full of distributors and whatnot, and if they believe in your film and also believe in you, right? It's the film that you're creating and who the heck is making this thing. That's the package, right? It's not just about your film. It's not just about you. If you're an amazing person with a lot of great ideas, but your reel or your trailer for your work sucks, there's no other way of saying it. Like, you're not going to get funding. It's got to be a 1-2 punch.
It also helps if like your first projects are close to home, so that you're not having to travel. The traveling is what kills you. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we've looked into doing these great story ideas, and I've had to nix them because they were across the country, and there was no way I was going to get all the time to go, and family and everything else. And so you just have to sometimes, try with those first projects to pick what's close to home.
Right. Yeah, and also when it comes to budgets, to me, money in film is just an artistic tool. If I had $100,000, I could make something. If I had, $60 million, I can make something. They would be different films. If you had $2,000, you could make something. It's just most likely going to be a different film. But
that's great.
Yeah. It's no excuse, is what I'm saying. No excuse. Go make something, share it, get a lot of feedback, have your own little group of filmmaking friends that you share with before you share it out wide. I always suggest finding your core group, finding your team now, people that you really trust to get feedback from, that give you very, very good feedback and get feedback often. And then once you get a lot of great feedback from your small little concentric circle, then grow that circle with a handful of other folks and show your work, and more and more and more, and then you can share it out wide. So always getting feedback. Don't be so sensitive. We're all, sensitive little butterfly, whatever, just keep, part of the process of growing as an artist, and from my experience, is just really being very, very good at getting feedback and receiving it, and just saying, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?" Okay, thank you very much. When people stop giving you feedback, that's when you should worry.
Yeah.
Because they don't care about you, because you don't take feedback probably very well. But when people give you feedback, that means they care about you. So,
just wanted to say thanks for hanging out with us at 9 a.m. My
being
question is sort of around the funding question as well.
Yep.
Jeff, like you mentioned, you spent 400 hours on your project. When you're sort of out in the field, doing your story, what are some ways that you guys might continue to fund yourself? Like, for example, if I'm working a part-time job and I have this creative idea and I'm trying to film it on the side, if I'm out on the road in the field, for example, what are some ways to sort of collect like a bankroll to live off of?
Yeah, funding a film has been hard ever since the dawn of filmmaking, and it's not getting any easier. I mean, there's a lot of, I just found is if you have a really great story on your hands and you're capturing it in a way that is, really showing that you can make this film and you can tell a story and you're getting great coverage and whatnot. I think a lot of it is, it always ends up coming back to just doing your research on who's funding films. What I would end up doing, before I started, I had zero idea, how you fund a film. So I started watching films that I thought were, I don't know, pretty good on Netflix or whatever, and I would watch the credits and I would see who the hell's funding these films. Like, oh man, that was a really amazing nonfiction film. So I would just start watching people's credits, Netflix, over and over and over, writing them down. So I ended up having like a spreadsheet of people that I had no idea who these folks were, who these companies were. I ended up having a spreadsheet of like, I don't know, 40 or 50 different companies that had the little logos at the end. And I just went, who are these guys? Okay, I know who Sundance Institute is. I know who these folks are, but who's Chicken and Egg? What do they do? Oh, they film films that are, that have central female or women characters. Okay, well maybe that doesn't work for me, but there's, I don't know. So basically, what I'm saying is, it's ever evolving, it's ever changing. Do your research, it's all there. It's right on Netflix, just watch the credits and put it together. And then find the dates on when these institutes, have grants open up, and apply for those grants. For me, when I funded this thing, the job was, it'd be great to get a film grant. They're hard to, one grant is hard to get. So the job that I had was, okay, I'm gonna apply for 20 grants to make this film. It's a numbers game, right? Like, I'm an ex-baseball player, so it's all about numbers. So, apply for 20. If I get 1 out of 20 film grants, that's a big success. That's awesome, right? If I go over 20, I'm going to bet by the end of that exercise, I'm going to have a better film because it's forced me to sit in front of the material, write it out, and articulate exactly what I'm trying to make. So it's a win-win, man. Just, it's a numbers game. Do your research, it's all there.
And also, real quick, if you're super independent, kind of like the way that I was making my documentary, try to, let's say you're interviewing someone in whatever city, in Miami, for example. Find like a restaurant that's near the person you're interviewing and reach out to the restaurant and say, hey, could I do my interview here and could you feed my crew? And you're saving money and food and just offer something in exchange, like, oh, I'll do an establishing shot of your restaurant and I'll show it in the documentary real quick. This is where the interview's happening. Right. Just little things, just be creative, like how little ways in which you can save money. And because little things add up, like lunch or gas.
Absolutely.
Find a buddy that is willing to drive your crew and you can credit them as a driver or as a PA, or just being creative with those little things, because the little things are the ones that add up.
Crowdfunding,
Great.
all that's available now.
And that goes along with what I was going to say. And as you continue on, you're going to develop all these relationships. Mm-hmm. And so you're talking about funding. Well, you're going to develop relationships with people who may be successful or may have money and may be willing to do it and put the risk in, but if you're going to do something like that, private funding, friend, family funding, just make sure that they understand up front that you might not get this back. You know what I mean? So.
Make that really clear that they're never going to ever see a penny from anything. Yeah. That's just a good general filmmaking knowledge. Like, don't ever promise anybody.
Yeah, and do your homework, do your homework. Yeah. It's all there. If you want to find funding, find out who's funding films. Mm-hmm. Yeah.